So something that can be very motivating when we're working to become better musicians is to have people in our lives who are also on the same path as us. And if you're at school or maybe even studying music at university, you have this built into your education. You don't have to look very far for that community. You are in the community. This was definitely my experience when I studied music at university. I was pushed by everybody else I was studying with to improve. I saw these people working on this amazing music and really interesting projects, and I wanted to be as good as them. And then when we played in ensembles together, I didn't want to let them down. I wanted to be the person in the ensemble who was a reliable and fun and inspiring ensemble member to work with. So you are lucky if you're at school or at university. You have these relationships, and I think you should definitely nurture them and spend as much time as you can with these musical friends. And often these relationships are the ones that will stay with you if you're considering a career in music professionally. Many of these relationships you will have for your whole professional career. So working hard on building these relationships now while you are in this immersive environment is a really great opportunity. You're very, very lucky compared to the rest of us who maybe don't have these opportunities. We're not studying, we're working on music all on our own. So maybe if you are one of those people who's not in a music institution, not at high school studying music, then you have a band you play with, maybe you have some friends who play music, maybe you just have people you jam with every now and then. So these relationships are super helpful. You can be like AA sponsors to each other. You can ring each other up and say, did you practice today? Yes, I practiced. Did you practice today? Oh no, I haven't practiced yet, but you practiced, so I'm going to practice. And so it's kind of like having someone to be accountable to who is not just yourself. You're giving yourself an external source of accountability, which is always very helpful. And if you have absolutely no one in your life who is on the same journey as you, or you'd like more people in your life who are interested in music, who you can speak about music with, then this is the time in your practice today, just for 5 minutes, so you can set a timer if you don't want to get distracted and waste too much of your precious practice time on this task. So for 5 minutes, have a look on the internet and see what you can find in your local area in terms of community groups like community orchestras, community choirs, community bands. Maybe there's a musicians wanted page in your local area, your local Facebook group on somewhere. Back in the old days, you used to go to a rehearsal studio and people would stick bass player wanted up on the notice board in the rehearsal studio. I don't know if that still exists, but maybe. Or maybe in the local music shop, there's a place for musician wanted ads. So all of these places are great places to look for opportunities to join some kind of a group where people are playing music together. And if you are an instrumentalist and the only thing you can find is a community choir, I don't see why you can't join the community choir, because you will be getting great education for your oral skills, your rhythm, often sight reading music, and practice performing. If you've never performed before, a choir is kind of a nice, safe way to perform because you are singing, your voice is lifted by the group, the rest of the section. So you're not one voice alone, you are a voice in a section. So, and then maybe through this choir you meet other people who also play other instruments and they want to form a band, and then you are on your way to making your own network of musical friends to chat about music, to get really nerdy about chatting about music, to encourage each other to practice, to be curious about what each other are doing with their music careers. So having real life people, I think, is very important. More important than being active on, say, a forum where you can talk about music, because it's helpful to be on a forum and kind of ask questions, but there is something that you really miss when you are not working with other people face to face, when you're not playing music with other people face to face particularly, and then able to talk about that music with them afterwards. Because when we make music, often we want to make music for an audience who are there in person. We also want to play music in a group. If you've never ever made music or played music in a group setting, this is a pleasure that you have been missing out on up until this point. So if you've never done that, it can be extremely scary, but it's also one of the most satisfying and rewarding experiences, I think, as a musician. I love playing with other people. I particularly love improvised music, making improvised music in a group with other people. That is something that brings me probably the most joy in my life, is being with a group of friends, a group of fellow musicians, and making improvised music. So this is your task, is just to spend 5 minutes. You can set a timer to find some way, some kind of avenue for building a community of fellow musicians, people who are on the same journey as you, people who you can talk about music with, play music with, get really nerdy about music with, and just find that sense of community and that sense of collective encouragement and motivation. Hi, I'm Erica. I am a musician and music teacher, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more practice tips, motivation and inspiration. And also share this video with any friends who are also practicing music. And finally, if you like, you can stick around for a short meditation at the end of this video to prepare you for a great day's practice. So happy practicing, and I'll see you next time. Bye. So we're going to take a few minutes to prepare for practice, to relax the body and the mind. You can take out your instrument, have any music, books, pencils ready. Then you can sit or stand with your instrument or without. And we're going to start with a soft focus in the eyes. Bring your awareness to the space you're in. Notice any sounds in the room, any smells. And then with the next exhale, closing the eyes. And we bring our awareness in to our bodies, feeling the weight of the body on the chair, or feeling the feet connected with the floor. Maybe feeling the instrument in your hands, its texture under your fingers. And then bringing the awareness further in still to the breath and to the place where you feel it. Maybe the nose, the throat, the chest, the diaphragm, feeling the rise of each inhale and the release of each exhale. And as you notice the breath, on each exhale, letting every muscle in your body release just a little bit more. Each exhale brings more relaxation to the body and more stillness to the mind. And if thoughts arise, just let them do what it is they want to do. Maybe they float by, maybe they stay. Just bringing your awareness back to the breath, back to each inhale and to the release of the exhale. Every breath, relaxing the muscles in the body just a tiny bit more. And then bringing the awareness back out to the body, to the weight of the body in the chair, the feeling of your feet connected to the floor, the feeling of your instrument under your fingers. Then bringing the attention further out into the space, noticing any sounds in the room, however small they might be. And then gently blinking the eyes open, ready to start practice for the day.